Hi there, Bracy here. So this is actually the second time I'm recording this video. The first time my volume was off, I hit play record, it was recording, but somewhere in the recording it had to stop because my phone was full of videos. Because I've been doing a lot of videos. In fact, this is the 21st video, which means I've been doing this 3 weeks straight. I haven't skipped a day where I made a video, but I have skipped a day where I've posted one. This is I'm happy because this is 21 straight just doing it, making sure that it gets done. And it feels like no time since the moment that I decided, okay, I'm going to do this. Which is interesting when looking back to be like, once you make the choice to do something every day, like it will accumulate on its own and you don't have to really worry about it too much other than that on a daily basis you're saying I'm going to do this or I'm not going to do this. It's interesting. This also carried over into my running. So I had started shortly after I started doing this video series. I had started running and making sure that every day I was getting out and doing something. I have off days like today I didn't go out at all because yesterday I ran a lot more than I would usually, and I need like repair days. Also, I play Echo VR, and I won't say what my name is, but I played professionally a touch, but it's just fun and it's physically active, and so it works out my upper body a little bit. So just I have to go back and forth between the two, but all that to say is that like you just do a little bit and it accumulates over time. As long as you're making sure that it's fun and you want to keep on doing it, then you'll naturally progress in doing it. I wouldn't say that this is fun. I would say that this is kind of therapeutic. I would say that this is I forgot what that other word is. Cathartic. That's the word. Cathartic. But yeah, it's been good. So I wanted to talk a little bit about what I said in the other video. I just got finished watching the limited series called The Family on Netflix. And oh boy, if you haven't seen it yet, stop here and just go watch it. And when you come back after a few days, unless you binge that thing hardcore, come back to this video. I'd love to discuss with you. So, bye for all those people who had to leave, namely Bracy. But yeah, that was a very interesting series. It's really kind of talking about this Christian like mafia that's like infiltrated our political system. It's been working behind the scenes since before the 50s, around Eisenhower's time, and yeah, it's crazy. It's scary. It's scary just because you can see how much, especially if you know anything about the American political system. We're supposed to have a separate church and state, but this documentary very clearly shows when it comes to the context of this organization or anti-organization, because they've for a while now have gone without being a official organization. They realized that being anonymous actually helped their will go further. They would go to powerful people and they would be like, we're your friend. Don't worry about my name. We don't care about the fame. We don't care about what it looks like, or we just want to be your friend. We want to support you however you need to be supported. They would say this to the most ruthless dictators that existed at the time that they are operating. And for today, that means they did this with Donald Trump. So this is kind of crazy, right? Because ultimately, fundamentally, they act as if the alpha male basically is preordained. It's God's will to some extent. So who are they to judge what the alpha does? We just need to provide. We just need to assist and listen and support, essentially. So there's a whole bunch of overly religious guys with this like macho religion kind of going around supporting people in power, and by doing that getting more power because they're connected, hyper connected, hyper connected to all the major leaders, not all the major leaders, but many of the major leaders across the world. um, and and through this network of people and influence, they spread their will, which is kind of crazy. But the other side to that is, and sorry if that music is bothering you. I don't know if you hear it, but there's a party going on down the street. I should be at that party right now, right? The interesting and possibly controversial side to this that I see is so Douglas Coe. He was kind of the founder who died about 2 years ago. Not founder, but he was the head of this anti-organization. He was like the godfather essentially, and it seems like the documentary made it seem like he was kind of obsessed with how Hitler was able to maintain power, how people like Stalin, how these dictators are able to get power. And he kind of took that and reversed engineered it into religion, essentially. And I think the interesting thing about that is that he was willing to look past the atrocity of it and just get straight to the like, wait, maybe there's actually something of value here, like something of value that we could actually extract and use. And I think a lot of people would hear what I just said and be like, that's awful, hold up, don't do that. But to that I say, wait, hold up. What they discovered actually might be applicable outside of the rules of political theater, or outside of the context of world domination and power. But ultimately, what they did is create a covenant, a system in which they were comfortable saying, I love you no matter what, and I support you no matter what. The context in which they did that, I do think, is pretty messed up. Like, I don't support this construct of like the alpha male and whoever God ordains as the alpha male. This is king stuff all over again. And I don't think that that's the way to a fulfilled existence for humanity. There's too many things that a singular human in control just cannot grasp at this point. In this day and age, there's just too much information, too much to know, and too much to be delegated, in which one person should not be ruling that. But what is interesting is this, what it comes down to, the unconditional love, this unconditional support. I don't care if you've created genocide, that I support you. Like, that's insane. That's a weird, I mean, from our side of the world, and I'm saying our side, people who aren't involved in the family or this foundation, people who haven't done genocide, like myself included, people who aren't necessarily on the violent side of things, anybody who would support that, it would be hard to be like, oh yeah, I see what you're saying there. But I say the value in this is the unconditional support. This unconditional, unjudging love is at the heart of their power, because ultimately it is empowering the people that are within this fellowship to do more than they can do on their own, more than they can do when they feel like it's them against the world. All of a sudden they've got a team of people who are like brothers, who will support them no matter what. Like, that's powerful. And ultimately, I believe that it's possible to construct a system in which more than just a small group of elite people feel that way about each other. Ultimately, I think you could create a context, a system. Hi, bird. There's a bird out there. You could create construct a system in which people are valued. Like, I don't care what you were born with. I don't care what your sexual orientation is. I don't care how bad it may seem, how mad it may be. I'm not going to say that it's wrong. I'm not going to say that I know better. What I'm going to do is support you. I'm going to love you. And I'm going to find a way to make it work. And whatever the awful context that might be, that you feel this way, like if it's towards other people, it's towards animals, it's towards entire groups of people, I'm not going to say that you're an awful person. However, I'm going to help you achieve fulfillment in a way that wouldn't disrupt these other people's lives. And that, I think, that's clutch. I don't necessarily think that the family cared whether somebody else's desires impacted the lives of others. We don't have to talk about that right now. But what is important is that underneath that, the amount that people can accomplish when they feel that they have value and they feel that they are a part of something bigger than themselves. And it is those who are able to tap into that sense of value, of allowing people to feel fulfilled because they are providing more than just working for a job and just getting money. Like, they're actually, something inside them is being touched and seen. I think being seen, like the inside of you being seen no matter what, I think that's really important. So you've got Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? Where you need to make sure that people are fed and they have water and shelter, and then on top of that, that they have friends and community and a social life, and on top of that, like education and spiritual awareness and things like. And then ultimately, this gets to like basically an enlightened human or fulfilled human. Like, but you need to fill each of these layers going up the pyramid to get to this heightened sense of self. I think it is time for us to start creating systems in which we recognize that hierarchy of needs. And ultimately, the better we create a system that recognizes these things and recognizes the inherent value in everyone and everything, that we will have a better world. But obviously it's not easily done, but it can be done. Thanks for watching. See you next time.